Okay. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
So, as Emily said, it's our third episode already.
Mm-hmm.
We are missing Hossam today
Mm-hmm.
for.
So, welcome, Nitish.
Thank you.
We have a new guest
Thank
today.
you. Happy to be here.
And we decided to invite you because, like, beside the fact that you join our meeting, our event, you are also very active and very interesting life coming from. Well, you will introduce yourself, but we thought you were like a good match for our podcast.
Thank you for considering me. Oh, basically, just to say, I'm from India, and I basically lived quite half my life in India, half in Europe, mostly in France, Italy, and now I'm in Estonia. And well, basically, I would say not just stress, but also finding the pursuit of happiness was what led me to bringing close to you people, and more than happy to help and actually help our viewers try to explore what we are, and just try to actually make them understand that we are normal humans living normal lives, and we are going to process our emotions and our needs as well through this podcast, hopefully.
Oh, super, yeah.
Mm.
Nice.
And you have been in Estonia 6 months, right? It's not much.
Yes,
Mhm.
it's been
Okay.
7 months basically. Yeah.
Okay, great.
We normally ask, how do you find it?
It's surprisingly charming, I would say. It's quite hot for an Eastern European country, in my opinion. Just whole point of me coming from tropics is to avoid the heat.
Hmm.
So there's that. But I would say people are nice. The environment is nice, and you have better opportunities to do here than what I had expected when I first moved here.
Okay, so overall you're satisfied.
So it's
Or-
even better than your expectation.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Super. Anything stressful in Estonia? You find?
Well, life is stressful daily, so it's not something that Estonia adds to it. So I don't feel the element of this country putting pressure on me. It's just a normal pressure that I go through life that I experience, so which is fine.
Alright,
It's very wise, actually.
okay.
Second? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just a brief introduction because I think already people know me. I am Emily. I come from Sicily, south of Italy. And basically, I've been in Estonia almost 7 years. In December, it's going to be 7. And I consider Estonia my home together with Italy, basically. So it's like I come from another country, totally different one, but I feel I feel well as well in Estonia. Not a big struggle for me to live here, and that's mainly all. I came because of Erasmus project, and then 1 year later I moved here.
Right. Thank you.
That's it.
I'm Alex. So I'm a psychotherapist in training. I'm psychologist, and here in Tallinn I run these expat support groups, which we started. They become popular, and it's already we had 1 year and a half. We are going with that. So we had I think more than 50 events already so far. So it's a lot.
I haven't been attending them all, but I definitely joined the stress meeting one. And we can introduce already our topic for this podcast. We would like to discuss stress as a first topic, but of course, it can any other topic can be introduced, and then a little bit social anxiety and meaning of life, dreams. But of course, it depends how much time we have. Otherwise, it can be split to another and covered in another podcast session.
Yeah, so idea today is more or less to follow up some of the recent meetings we had.
Yeah.
Last 5 of them. I think.
Mm-hmm.
And if we speak about stress, I thought maybe to put a question this way: if the stress management techniques are enough, then that's the way I put it. The meeting that time. So we can speak what the stress it is. Why is it complicated? What the stress management techniques you are using?
Yeah.
What others? What do you think there? And whether they are enough in our world now.
Yeah. I think like just to start and jump on this topic, we should first think about which kind of stress. Like there is like a short-term stress and longer-term one. The short one is not always that negative because it's the one that give us like some adrenaline or push us to meet some goal, or is this fight and fly
Yeah.
response activate this response.
So the word stress itself is we need to understand that it's basically it's not what causes the problem. The stress is our reaction to the stressor. So the bad guys are outside. Stress is actually the good guy who is helping us to do mobilizes the body and so when we speak about stress management is how do we manage our friend our which facilitates this overcoming the problems.
I really like, Alex, that all the time we talk about maybe stress or anxiety, you are always, this is our ally or this is our friends. You never say negative things about a response of our body or, like something like you already addressed the topic in a very positive way.
Not positive, but at least in neutral way. It's a psychotherapeutic habit to avoid any morality giving,
I've been noticing that this is already a way of reframing it in a positive way.
Absolutely. That's a psychotherapeutic technique to reframe things.
And this is also a way of managing stress, actually, reframing in
absolutely any process which is happening to you, like you can take a pool of names which you can call it and then pick up the one which suits you, even like for example you met somebody and you can say this is a relationship, this is situationship, we just hang out together, or you can say maybe it's an affair. Like and it's all like brings different perspective on it. The same with the stress. Like we can let's avoid the stress. No, stress came here to bring us through the life, which is gets hard.
No, but I absolutely agree, because vilification of a thing is actually causes underdevelopment. So it's very easy actually to set things up in a good or a bad box. But the issue is people always try to go back to the good box and then they keep on improving their skills in the good box. But once you put it in the bad section, you just want to avoid it for life. So you never process it. It's about, be it emotions, psychology, or your relationship, doesn't matter, whatever it is. Even your dressing habits, could be anything. Or playing hobbies like playing chess, football. We have a bad taste of something, we put it in the bad box, and then we don't go back at all. And this is what develops into a huge mountain at a certain point of time, this procrastination. So it's better, actually, from your perspective, I completely agree. We should never actually vilify something. It's better to actually ponder on the topic immediately rather than just keeping it for forever.
It's a training. It requires some mental training.
It's actually interesting because we are speaking now like about giving to some phenomenon in our life like more perspective and look at different, not calling it. But tonight we have a meeting, the art of saying no, critical update. So there we will be speaking about actually the opposite of that. That's what I wanted like to discuss tonight is when we stop looking for perspective, when we say no, the black is black, the white is white, leave it as it is. You kind of give up on looking for this perspective. You find your opinion, you find your taste, and enough is enough. So,
well, sometimes in life we should also be strict, no, when it's needed.
Yeah, well, there's a difference, I would say, between trying to ponder your emotions and trying to set boundaries. So I would say saying no to certain things falls under boundaries. It's something that actually helps you to segregate certain relationship with even yourself or other people around you.
But this comes from the fact that you really know your emotion well. You have already self-investigated yourself. So I guess it's the second step after you have gone through this process.
I have a bit different opinion on, not opinion, but view on the boundaries. For me, boundary is always it's a place of meeting. So I set up boundary with Natalie or with Emily or with you or with somebody else. Yeah. So I set up this boundary or I set up boundary with my neighbors. That's place where we communicate
Yeah.
actually. And but what I want to speak tonight is where we leave the place of communication, where we leave the boundary at all. So they stay there at the fence. They stay waiting for us on the fence to communicate and to talk to us. But we don't want to find the perspective anymore. We don't want to understand them anymore, and we just leave from there. This is not very popular, like psychological, like idea, but I think it's very necessary to give people permission of doing that. Like you don't have to be friends with each other. Like you don't have to always understand the other person.
Yeah.
You may leave this boundary and they can stay there long. So I don't know if I'm clear.
Absolutely. Like I recently had a discussion with my friends. Then we will go back to the main topic, but about the art of saying no or setting boundaries. One of my friends recently was like, "Oh, he has been testing me, but I will say if I meet him, I will say that I didn't see his message or like nothing." I said, "You can simply say the truth as well. You can simply say, I didn't want to meet you today, you know." And this is so, I think it's also so powerful. But it might come, we might be afraid maybe sometimes of hurting people. Sometimes we might be afraid that we show ourselves as too harsh. And yeah, there are other reasons why sometimes
I'm laughing a little bit because if I go back like 1 minute ago when I mistakenly called you Natalie, I did
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, but I did psychoanalysis, me speaking like of leaving the boundary, and not talking to Natalie. I just like was thinking like, why did I say that? And then I remembered my ex-wife's name is Natalie.
Actually, Freud used to say that when you say something, this is
analytical.
Yeah. What's the name of this? Is like when you sleep into something, and Freud said that there might be a reason. So Natalie is okay.
It's funny. Okay.
But in your defense, the microphone, it heard almost like Emily, so there's no need to worry.
Okay. Okay, let's say that names are similar, okay?
Not at all, but okay.
That's the reason. Anyway, going back to stress, then there is a long-term stress, which is the one that is really affecting our body, the way we sleep, release a lot of cortisol on our body, and on a long run can even actually change our DNA, maybe it's not exactly DNA, the words, but some genes.
Epigenetics.
Epigenetics.
It's called epigenetics. So it's basically the things around the DNA which switch on or switch off some genes. So they don't change it. Like stress cannot change the DNA itself, but it can change the things which put in on or off some things.
So affect the protein synthesis, the way in which the reactions take place between membrane layers.
Yeah, and we can even like transmit that to our like generation in a way that
and when you speak about this prolonged stress thing, like I think the most example that we can see around us here in Tallinn is Ukrainian refugees who came here. The war is still going on, and some of them, of course, recovered and start living a life, but many of them have relatives there. And they are in this long-term stress way, and how it affects cognitive abilities and skills of people. So memory, attention. Then we think like, what's the number one goal for people like here to learn Estonian language? And when you're into this prolonged stress, like these timelines that for normal adults, like within 1 year, 2 years, you can get this. They may not achieve this timeline. They have to be prolonged just because of lowered cognitive abilities and skills.
And talking about that, actually, there are also studies about kids who survived to Holocaust as well, and they have had this. There is like a study.
the people who went through the Holocaust and these concentration camps, some of them developed the thing where the cortisol is not developed in the.
They don't release any more cortisol, or
Yeah, I think much
as a
less amounts. And from one side you can think, oh wow, super, I don't feel any stress.
this is what I wanted to say. Like,
But
it's a positive.
we have it is not, because like as we started the meetings, the stress is our friend. And we do need to stress. That's who fights the stressor, and also cortisol is not only for that. It's like participates, I think, some fat things, something with burning fats or something. But I mean, it was existed in body, so you kind of need it. So,
Wow. So is just a question, is cortisol limited because maybe they have released all at once, like a lot of cortisol at once, and now they are in reserve, or why this is happening? I don't know. Maybe this is a biological.
It's just not produced in the amount that produced, and it's passed through the generation for 4 generations.
So it's something similar to how psychopathy is passed through generations because of abnormalities in the brain and stuff like that.
Maybe, but I think psychopathic, these some psychiatric illnesses which are genetical. We know them that they're genetic because we study identical twins who share like 100% DNA, and so some of them we see a higher percentage. So this might be in the genes, not in the epigenetics, because epigenetics will go away at some point.
Okay.
But some illnesses, they can run in a family for a long time. I'm not an expert on that, so maybe somebody.
Great. Yeah, going back to the stress. Like during our walk-in meeting, we discussed about the biopsychosocial factor like affecting stress. And basically, like what we have found out is that stress is not only a response to a external event, no, is also like a mixture of different components. So
that's a primary reason we are still discussing stress even today. We could have learned it, like everything about it by now, but we didn't, and because it changes. It's a very dynamic field of psychology, the stress management. There is no like clear answers for everything. I mean, it just more rich and deeper than it is just exactly of that biopsychosocial model. So it's biological things, cortisol that we spoke of, adrenaline, then the social things like a pressure to get a good marks, like a pressure at work, financial problems and so on, and then psychological, which individual differences. Like remember we've been
it's more about cognitive, the way you perceive the person.
We've been to the grill event last weekend, and we passed by the group of black people having
you also
grill.
saw
yeah
that.
so they had like 10 times much more fun than we did. Like I was jealous, like seeing them party. I felt like that's how I want to like a grilling party to look like. And then I start wondering why these people like black people never come to our events. So Midi said,
social
Midi
factors,
said,
no?
like, but because they don't feel anxiety, Alex, they live different lives.
Yeah.
And also it is a tropical trait as well. Especially people from tropics have this genetics to actually not actually feel so much stressful. Even if they do, it's for short bursts. They don't take it for life, actually, like a grunt.
Yeah. And some also social factor as well. They build a community because you didn't see any other different culture or different ethnicity. They were all part of the same community.
People.
Yeah.
Stromy,
and they are always there because once I was in Stromy, and they like, of course, like another group, but they are mainly gathering there.
Jealousy.
Yeah. Sorry, Alex, we couldn't do better. But But yeah, it's definitely also about cognitive, the way we perceive stress, and it's the way we release also cortisol and so on. It depends by person. Like every person is different, and yeah, talking about stress, and of course, based on this theory, if we want to relax or having some relaxing techniques or release stress, we should address every single aspect of this.
Yeah.
Like,
But I just want to add, like, I had a little bit of beef during my studies, like, because they call it biopsychosocial model, and
yeah.
that we consider everything. But when you academically study, they so overweight on bio anyways.
Okay.
They introduce this model that like kind of let's consider everything, but whenever you try to consider everything, they really like academically
Focus
they
on
still focus mainly on this like kind of conventional way of looking on stress, less on the social factors. For me, like social is
I agree.
I think the outside world exists, environment exists, and it plays significant role in our psychology and everything. Like ignoring it to that extent that, like in academia, we sometimes ignore.
Yeah,
I have a problem with that.
I totally agree. I think they should all have maybe the same weight on the scale. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. And yeah, also like what I found really interesting from our walk-in meeting is the way we assess the issue, like our stress source, let's say, and basically, I'm referring to HBA theory, no? But there was a guy who was able to describe step by step what happened unconsciously to our brain, to all the brain, maybe all, I don't know. I actually am
So it's a
doing that.
significant amount of population.
Yeah, significant amount. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all maybe is too
Statistically significant.
optimistic.
That's how the science says. Like psychology is a science, so we study statistics numbers, and then we see if it has an effect, and we design everything if it has an effect. So he found an effect and a significant, which is this is mathematical word, significantly something like okay.
I'm not good at that. Maybe
Whatever.
Nish can help.
No, I would say it's more like a probabilistic sample stock that they
Exactly.
usually have.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not just a random thing. So that's what they found out. So can you tell the model how it works?
Yeah, I've been studying Alex here. No, basically, it's like yeah. Basically, like there is a first assessment, and basically we define how stressful can be the situation. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like how stressful can be the situation if it's rather like a threat for ourselves, if it's whatever, and then it
stressor is defined as a threat or as a challenge.
yeah.
So two types, two things. So like the model is like you have to split challenge or
Yeah, and this is important also for like the second assessment, because I guess if it's a challenge, then you have skills. Maybe you might think, okay, I have the skills to overcome this challenge, but if it's a threat, maybe like stress level increase because there is no maybe way of react to a stressful situation.
You wait when you encounter some situation, you wait how much resources you have. If the resources are more or less balanced to the stressor, then it can be a challenge. You see, if they're enough, not enough, but if they're significantly lower than the stressor, then this is a threat.
Yeah. So. And then the third, let's say, step is the coping mechanism, like how we react to all these this situation. And yeah, it's interesting that we do it unconsciously. in a sec, we are able to assess different
Okay,
aspects.
let's share. What's your guys' coping mechanism? Say daily stress, something like work-related stress. What would be?
Well, I would probably go for the laissez-faire approach. I'm more of the live it in the moment kind of person. So it's more about actually trying to, again, going back to step two, trying to analyze whether actually I have enough capability to actually analytically do this. Maybe it's the masculine mind to actually be more analytical daily because of the research and whatever has happened in this field so far. But I always try to find solutions, and it's very analytical. And I always keep a time frame. And every time I fail, I realize all the times I failed is because it's not because I was not capable, it's because I've always had bad timing. Execution, structuring, and timing is what led to my victory or success or defeat in these situations, especially when I'm imparting my skills in this flight or fight response.
Can you say a little bit more about timing? What do you mean exactly?
Well, it's like micro timing, which ability of yours has the capability to actually tackle the situation. It's like going in a multi-shooter game. If you don't have the correct mounts and the correct guns and grenades, you lose immediately. Which in the first we get killed within the first 2 minutes. But eventually, there are some days when you keep on winning for the entire night for like 20 games, and then you start to realize, okay, this is my jam. I'm not going to use those amazing stuff. These are, I mean, there are a lot of, like, for example, everyday things in life. Basically, there are certain things that most of the people recommend online, which is good for you. But eventually, after trying everything, you realize there are certain combinations of things that you buy which is good for yourself. And most people usually have this opinion that, why did you buy this? It's one of the worst things. But for you, it works. So it's more about a combination. You need to actually find again, it's like an art piece. You need to find which color palette works with you, what kind of art works with you, and then you need to mix and mash them, and then you need to you need to build your own piece actually, as to like a toolbox on how to actually work with it.
I absolutely agree. Like when I just started these psychoeducational events, I was picking by my choice, like by my personal taste, what kind of tools, like pocket tools we call them, to give, to show. This is like very simple. This is primitive. I'm not gonna show this. Oh, this is like, yeah. But now I show them all because people are different. They pick up different things, and some very very simple things like. It can be super useful, like in a moment.
Absolutely.
I later on found it on myself some abbreviation you use, like I don't know, stop technique, like stop, like those breathing and so on.
I think one of the Spanish philosopher who came to this response was during the colonial time of Latin America. Because usually what happens is when the Portuguese or the Spanish try to give a chance for duel with the Native Americans of Latin America, usually the Spanish or the Portuguese, they choose the gun because it is the most effective one. But most of the time, the opponent always asks for a choice. They ask for a weapon of their choice. And every time the Portuguese or the Spanish make fun of them, saying, I have a gun, I'm offering you a gun, and you don't want it. You're going to choose something of your own, like stick or bat. It makes no sense. But eventually, 90% of the time, in a single one-on-one duel, the native person won, even though the colonial person had a gun in his hand. Sometimes they've won just with boomerangs, with blades, with nothing. And that's when he came to a conclusion that, no, it's because that man has mastered that weapon. It has nothing to do with the fact that the gun is superior.
I think it has a lot to do about motivation as well. Like they are coming and external people are coming and invading your own country. So additional to your strength, physical strength, and maybe some tools, you also have this motivation to defend your land.
To kill them with a gun is not enough. Like
no, but the motivation to protect your own land is stronger than the conquer motivation. Just to maybe.
It also comes to self-worth and adaptation as well. Like going back to the colonial Latin American era, there was one person, the Portuguese or the Spanish, I don't remember, they cut both his hands for stealing. And eventually, this guy, he went back home and and he belted some iron, and then he attached two swords as his hand. And then he trained in the combat, and he killed around 300 people in the battle. And after killing it, he went to the Portuguese or the Spanish general and he said, "Thank you for taking off my hands, because now I have two swords in my hands. Thank you for making me more deadly." It's also about adaptation as well.
Yeah,
Stress
reaction to.
adaptation.
That
But that comes
very adaptable.
but that also comes to the topic of self-worth, because now that we're also going to be talking about the meaning of life.
If we have time, yeah.
But eventually
Yeah.
down the line, if we go from stress to the meaning of life, there is this in-between bridge which is called self-worth, which always people ignore, because they always put their image on other people's mind, like, well, how will I be perceived by others? How is, they want to show a certain image of themselves, but they forget their self-worth.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And this connects strictly to social anxiety, like letting others, feeling that others are judging you and that you are constantly under this kind of judgment from others. Yes, I am like.
Emily, what's your coping technique?
This was the topic. Sorry. My coping mechanism. I really envy people that are able to be analytic and logical.
You also live in your head. You also live in your head.
I am very emotional person. So I react. I force myself to be more analytical. I force myself. Why? I am not analytical at all. I am very emotional person. But Estonia, for example, has made me more analytical. I in Italy I was way crazier than this, but yeah, this is a positive impact, and I think also this is due to the fact that I had like Estonian boyfriend for a while, and for example, I had an issue at work. I was coming back home and like go crazy, and telling the story, and he repeated like the same story by removing emotions. So it's like, okay, so this is what happened. This, and this. I'm like, yes, this is like, it was very linear, exactly what happened, just without emotion. And I was like, there is no need to react in such a way or be stressed or be, And I'm trying to do this exercise to cope, to fight or like, stress. That's my thing.
I totally agree on Estonia changing you part, because I experienced that as well. Because unlike Emily, I am on the analytical side and I have to force myself to be emotional all the time. So today I was walking down the street, and I say this, it's been after my ex-girlfriend, I actually date some women, but I never actually felt like loving them. I am more than happy to give them flowers, gifts, everything, but I don't actually feel it from the heart when I give it to them. I just give it because there's a social norm of giving it. But today I was
good enough. Some people do it.
No, everyone.
But eventually today I was walking down the line and there was this boutique shop. I saw this beautiful dress for a girl with all the, the red rubies and everything. And I thought for a second, I stopped, and it's been so long since I had this conversation with myself. I thought, if I ever love a girl later in my life, I will definitely buy this no matter the cost for her. And that's when I realized, it's been so long since I even thought about these kind of things. I had a conversation with myself when I was going back home.
I don't want to ruin that, but I think the dress will benefit you too, Nitish. That's why.
Me wearing it or giving it?
Giving it and looking at the dress on her. So.
No, it was a very beautiful one, actually. I don't know the brand, I don't know the price and nothing, but it was so amazing. And for a moment, I was like, okay, maybe if I truly love somebody later in the future, I will buy it for them, no matter what.
Beautiful.
What about you, Alex? What's your coping mechanism?
If you follow my Instagram, like dog walking.
Okay. So 6:30 in the morning today.
6:30 in the morning, grab a dog. I live in a greenery, so there is a forest and sea nearby. So.
But do you feel extremely content that this mechanism is working for you, or do you think there's a lack?
I always can have a glass of wine in evening. Also,
Mhm.
like I'm not gonna lie,
Uh-huh.
it's also helps me. Talking to my mom on the phone helps me a lot. She has this way of calming me down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not my mom, definitely. She's very emotional. It makes me feel more anxious than.
Yeah, but it's actually works that she becomes very emotional. And I'm like, that's, Mom, it's not that bad. Actually, sorry for the dramatizing this.
Yeah, I
My mom
still
is
discuss with my mom, but it's not helping when I have issue. No, work other way around. She called me and okay, it worked, but on the other, no.
my mom is very analytical, so it runs in the
Great,
family.
great.
But my father is the emotional one. So
Mm.
he gets, even if I don't call him for one night, he thinks I get kidnapped or something. And in the morning at 5 a.m., I have to call him like, it's okay, I am alive. And he's like, are you roaming outside? I'm like, no, 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 I just slept. He's like, are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I look at the bed, I look at the bed sheets, I'm like, sheets, and I'm like, yeah, it's the bed, I'm sure. And it's my bed, I'm sure.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Cool. Okay, Alex. So we can cut this, but how we are going to introduce the second topic, the social anxiety?
I have a little bit on stress more.
Oh, sorry.
I-
Okay,
I-
perfect.
I- I- I-
We
I-
can go. Yeah, we can.
I can. So basically, about stress, I maybe highlight a couple of more things.
Yeah. Okay.
It's your podcast, you run it. So
Uh-huh,
yours as
uh-huh.
well, but
No, no, it's Alex. No.
It's open. I mean, like
Okay,
it's
okay, okay,
changing.
okay.
Like, and that's a couple of things I wanted to highlight. We start speaking about coping mechanism. I wanted to explain that whenever you have any coping mechanism, or your family member, your friend has a coping mechanism, and we used to divide this coping mechanism into positive kind and negative. Like functioning coping mechanism, malfunctioning, and for example, my habit of having like a glass of wine can be like painted like as a negative coping mechanism, or I don't know, somebody sitting in a phone like watching TikTok, and this way it's also like coping with the stress can be negative. But coping mechanism, it's always the best what our brain and our body invented for us to survive. And any coping mechanism, like whether it's negative or positive, has to be treated with respect, and never taken away from person like immediately and like stressfully. So like do you understand what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
so
absolutely. Mhm.
that's kind of like advice section of our podcast. So if you see like somebody is like really into bad path or something, don't remove it until you know like what you will give in exchange to that.
Yeah, like we shouldn't label like a coping mechanism as a negative or as a positive, because it's just the way we
Yeah.
but where
react.
do we set the social boundaries as to watch them go bad? The definition of bad, because there need to be a limit as well, because as a true friend you need to care to stop them at a certain point.
uh, I think there is a certain cultural norms within a friends group. So in my friends group is maybe something more allowed or less allowed than in your friends groups, and you kind of balance on that. Of course, it's very individual, but like we cannot avoid that. Like when it's bad, it's bad.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like what can be bad when the person is not enriching life anymore, not adapting, and so on. That's kind of in psychology.
Yeah.
We can not living creatively. This we can say like in psychology maybe like a malfunctioning coping mechanism. But it's still a choice of a person.
It's more like common sense as soon as we realize that is.
Common sense is also like criticized a lot. I mean, some
We
people
also have the socio-economic culture as to what is common and civic sense, based on how we were brought up, which country you're from. So it gets more deeper and deeper as we have this
exactly.
conversation.
Like I have my nephew from USA now here, and he eats quickly. He eats like messy, and my his grandparents, my parents, they trying to correct a little bit. I'm saying maybe it's like just how they eat in USA.
Uh-huh.
Maybe there it's fine. Like he's even doing good. I mean, I used to be like told all the time, use the knife, use the knife. Then I went to Asia. there is no knife on the table, never. There is a spoon only, like, and people survive without knife.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be bashed by all the viewers for saying this, but as an Indian, I face this a lot, especially in trains, in public places. I have some other people come and say to me, "You are an Indian, right?" I'm like, "Yes." And they're like, "Well, these people, they're Indian, but they're extremely loud and they're having a loudspeaker and they're not having headphones. They're talking in the train all day. I mean, can you at least politely tell them? It's better you tell them rather than me." And India has like 300 different languages. So I'm like, I don't even know whether they know me at this point. Yeah, I mean, I can't, there are some people I can't even converse with, like 80% of the languages I can't converse with. So I'm like, I don't know. I can try, but.
No, I think you can manage. We still remember how during the grilling you managed to mimic this sign language
Oh yes,
and interpret
this was
it.
great.
Special skill.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time you guest on something, I'm like, wow, this can really be real. What she's
for
actually
our
saying.
audience is basically Nitish was reading the sign language without properly knowing the sign language, and interpretations were more or less correct.
That the fact he only knows 15 sign. He said 15, but I don't
know
think.
some 15, 12 to 15 signs, but the rest was made up at this
Yeah.
point. So.
Cool.
Common sense. No, common sense. I don't know. Like
No.
generic, getting the meaning from generic.
Maybe part 2 of stress handling.
Mm.
Looking back the abilities and trying to modify the situation, maybe.
How?
Let's cut it in the podcast. It's going to take a long
Not
time.
cut it. It's called theory of mind. It's a special theory in psychology. Don't think about the name, it's just the name, theory of mind. It's basically the ability of a person to read other person by looking at their face and emotions and so on, and understanding them. And sometimes people losing this ability. I think ADHD has this symptom that people can, their skill of reading the person is lower.
Has this something to do with empathy as well? Like it require like certain level of empathy?
I'm not sure, but I think indirectly. So if you don't see that the person is suffering, its mechanism even don't switch on. So you don't see that the person even requires the empathy. You may be like open to show it, but if you cannot read it.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking that if you have some kind of empathy towards the other person, like you have the ability to get her or his emotions, so and somehow read what she's trying to say.
They definitely correlate. I'm not sure if there's causation, but they would correlate. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Super. Alex, do you have something else to say about stress?
I do actually like, but let's move on.
Okay.
It's alright. Come to Volcans and you'll have the full thing.
Okay.
We are having fun. We have 3 hours of fun there.
So social anxiety is the second topic. Okay.
So we have 15 minutes.
15 minutes left. Okay.
Meaning of life as well.
I think we can just cover social anxiety.
I think it goes well. It flows.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So, social anxiety.
Social anxiety.
Anxiety is favorite topic of mine. I love it.
I have been thinking about social anxiety before joining the walk-in meeting and also a couple of days ago. Because I'm wondering if by changing society, by changing country and so social norms, the social anxiety can increase or rather develop like by changing country. And if that is the case, we are kind of all subject to social anxiety as an expat. And yeah, I was just wondering, I recently started feeling that I might have social anxiety, but not like it's not affecting my social life.
How does it manifest in you?
You know what I thought, Alex? He's very stupid. But
Nothing.
I always arrive late to appointment. And I am wondering,
That's a symptom.
yes, and I'm wondering why. And I realized that if I am the first one joining an event, then I have to overperform. Like I have to like I have this urge to start a conversation, to avoid silent moments. Like it's the silence, I think, what is affecting me the most.
Maybe you're just Sicilian.
Exactly, exactly. That's why maybe I moved to Estonia and I started here feeling because if I discuss to my mom or I say to my boyfriend, I think I have something, they say, no, come on, what are you talking about? That's not true. It's just maybe you don't know the environment and that's all.
It's interesting because it's controversial.
They don't see that.
What I actually do, I would see it even slightly opposite. The person who is late always have a lot of
Overperform, yeah.
attention.
Ah,
The one who is coming last one in the room, who is late, who is interrupting, like in a way, who is walking, everyone's like looking at this person. Or somebody is waiting for you, so it brings a lot of attention actually on.
but Alex, it can be like a fight between getting attention and then the fear of being judged. It can be
both things can coexist.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dialectical.
No, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna agree
but
with
for
her.
me, it's like, okay, the conversation is all done, the groups are made, I can just go there, sit and relax. Like, for me, that's the thing.
So we need to set the room. For you.
They will set by themselves and I join later. I don't know.
I actually agree with Emily on this one because I always come late as well. But it's because I don't want to be the main character in the entire frame. And that's, I think it's not about overperformance or being judged. It's more about the fact that these people have a purpose. I'm not sure I 100% fit the purpose. So at the end of the day, let them do their thing. I'm just going to, like be on
Yeah.
the side and push it and just get involved and be nice to people. So it's more of a
Mhm.
overcompensation, but also making sure you're empathetic towards other people's needs and feelings.
Yeah, you are thinking about the purpose as well. Like, no, I'm not. I just,
If it's 100% about me, more than happy to come at the beginning. But it's not about me. So it's more about trying to actually let people have their space.
yeah, I totally agree. But it's not because I want to let people to have space. It's just because it's stressful for me.
I don't want to share space with.
That's the thing. What about you, Alex? Have you ever experienced some social anxiety? Yeah.
Often, yeah. But the job I do now, so I mean, it helps a lot.
Okay.
And yeah, the social anxiety is the way I understand it. So it's all about us. It's not about being afraid of meeting people or interacting with them. It's so in a Gestalt approach, we believe that self, like ourself, our identity is born and emerges through the contact with other people. So there is no me without you, and I know myself by your reaction to me. Like for example, you're looking at me now, like you're knocking your head. So like I can think like, okay, I'm saying something which can be interesting to
Yeah.
people. So maybe I'm an interesting person. Without you, how can I know that I'm an interesting person? Just think in my head that I read a lot of books and I'm interesting. No, it doesn't work this way. And I always, to get to know myself, I need somebody else.
Yeah.
And in this way, I think that social anxiety is actually the fear of getting to know yourself. So I will come into some room. Maybe they don't like me. Maybe they will point out some characters of me or some phenomena they will notice that I wouldn't like. Maybe they would say like you're arrogant. Actually, you have some narcissistic traits, and that's not what I want.
Okay.
It's very interesting because in the Vedas from India, 3,800 years ago, there is a topic called books called Upanishad, and in that there is an exact story I remember that actually talks about this as well. There is a saint called Jamadagni, and his pupil, who is also his son, asks him, how do I actually differentiate between the Jivatma and Paramatma, which is like God and myself? How do I know the difference? And then he says, I'm also a soul. You are also a soul. We are having a different body. Like you are having this frock. I'm having this blazer. The body is the same. I'm having different clothes. The body is also a clothing. So that's what makes you different from you and me. And then he goes to talk about the topic of awareness, because the guru says to the pupil, if a goat goes to the butcher shop, it doesn't feel stressed. But once it sees another goat being butchered, that's when it starts kicking and it wants to run away from the shop. That's because a goat has 5 senses. We are human, we have the sixth sense, and we are more aware than the goat. That's why we have this complex world of emotions, and that's why for us, ignorance is not actually bliss. And at the end of the day, it's the more aware you are, and the more sensible as a sensor you are to actually other people's perception, that's when the anxiety kicks in. And that's what he says, more awareness leads to anxiety. But also at the end of the entire paragraph, he says the more aware you are, you will be able to process these and actually come to a conclusion and be at peace eventually as well. Because he says, one of the people asks, can I not be aware and have a happy life, like ignorance is bliss, like the goat? And he's like, no, because every animal at a certain point of time, they always experience stress, and at that point they don't even know how to process it. It's always the ones that are aware and knowledgeable who have the toolkit to process it as well. So he says, go through suffering more and more to actually understand how to cope with it.
You mentioned the ignorance in a Bible. There is a story of Cain, who he was punished by the God, if I'm not mistaken, by that he wasn't killed, but he was let outside, and people were ignoring.
Oh yeah, as a punishment. Yeah.
And that the worst punishment. So you lack this contact with the people, and you are losing your identity. You don't know who you are actually.
Yeah, this is the worst, especially like in ancient society as well. But actually, talking about the being recognized by others, or I think ancient, like we. I think from Latin we got the word persona, which means per se, like you stand by yourself. Like persona means like a single one. But the Greek, ancient Greek, had another word which I don't remember, and it was basically related, connected to the interaction with others. Like I am a person because someone else recognized me. Like there were, and we lost it with the times. But Greece is still like there is some relation definitely with the Indian culture and so on. Yeah,
I'm sure there is times when for example, we need to collect our resources and spend something in solitude, and maybe take these middle class trips to India, to find yourself. But actually, if you want to find yourself, go to people. They will tell you who you are and what you are. And if you don't like it, start from here. Start from here. If you don't like it, and you're like, okay, then you have something to work on. Not in isolation.
I have a lot of tourists in India saying, oh, I came to India to find myself spiritually. And they say, well, you could have done it in any country at this point. And they're like, no, this is the land of spirituality. And then I realize there is the chances of them finding spirituality just because they think this is the land it's like an oxymoron. It makes no sense. But I don't want to burst their bubble and happiness. So I'm
because
like,
it's business.
It's a business.
Yeah, there are a lot of movies, Eat, Pray, and Love. About the girl going to.
It's entertainment. Let's say, it's entertainment.
But I think definitely there are countries where like nature is more beautiful and you can really connect deeply with yourself and others.
But to each their own, because some people find happiness in a dark room. They don't even have to go and see the Niagara Falls to be happy. It all depends on how you are able to process it at the end of the day.
And if you find this place beautiful, first of all.
No, you need to find ways to be at peace and process. It could be traveling, it could be eating, it could be doing nothing. For some people, they achieve this goal with zero amount of money spent. Some people go around the entire world and they still don't have peace. They roam around doing nothing.
Yeah.
Some people become billionaires and they still don't have peace, and they do commit suicide at the end of the day. So it all depends on how you are able to process it. But again, you need to be more aware of yourself first and need to understand what are the things your inner self reacts to. That's the way you can actually know, if I do this, I will be able to do some enrichment in life and spirituality in life. You need to find your juice. You can't go to a 10-day yoga course and find it. Maybe you can, but that depends on the person.
Yoga course is not bad. I mean, there is a group of people at least. So that's what I'm advocating heavily on, like
Are you
social
going to
connection.
yoga course?
No. I'm so I'm not sharing this idea of extrovert introvert too much, but if you consider, I'm very introverted.
I cannot see.
Yeah, but I go also weekend to recharge to the forest, so then I can come back to people.
I would say you're more ambivert.
And
Your extrovertedness
depending
comes
on-
with the interest of knowing people. If you didn't have the interest to know people and analyze them, you would have been a full introvert,
Yeah.
sitting at home and being happy and drinking beers and wine.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But your curiosity to know more about living beings around you and
It's
their
more like the
characters,
fuel to go
Yes.
out.
and
Yes.
try to study human beings and
That's the most
creatures.
enjoyable. if I
That's
can.
what makes you come outside daily.
That's gold.
I don't know what makes
So do you like how Nitish is reflecting the picture of yourself to you?
It's amazing. You can see me smiling.
It's like, you reached the nirvana, yeah.
It's like my birthday.
Is your birthday?
No.
Okay. So, I take everything literally. Okay. Cool. So, guys, I don't know. What do you think? I think we can stop here.
Stop here.
Yeah. Okay.
You want to give
thank
some
you.
closing? Sorry, you want to give some
Sorry.
closing advice to people?
Oh.
Or
Yes.
Come to us. I mean, we should restart in September properly, and we maybe will have a couple of events in summer more.
No, I'm talking
no,
about
no,
the podcast. Do
no
you want to
barbecue.
say something to people at the end? To end.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay,
By
sorry.
that,
Okay,
I'm inviting
sorry.
them.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. But advice on that. I don't know. There is so much literature, so much information online. But as usual, go to people if people are healing. That's my credo, kind of thing.
Social interaction.
Social interaction.
Also, if you feel like you're being judged, I recommend to people, go take a random bus, go to a random country where you would know nobody, and then try to do whatever your heart wants to do there, because nobody is going to judge you. And then you can try certain things that you wanted to try but are so shy to try. Go to random, I don't know, leave the continent, go somewhere else, and then do all the crazy stuff there. No one's going to know you, and then you
Some
can come
people
back.
go crazy in India.
By bus, it's hard to go there.
And then people say like white people.
No, I actually have one advice to release some social anxiety or something, and it's so nice. Like, it's think that people think about you definitely less than what you think.
Or not at all.
Uh?
Or not at all.
No, please, come on. No, so it's true. Sometimes you see people looking at, but maybe they're not even looking at you for real. They don't even.
And you can always ask, what do you think?
What? Are you looking at me?
Not in Eastern European way, just
Politely.
what's up?
Oh, no.
But again, it comes back to self-worth. Actually, what do you think of yourself? If you're content about how you are feeling today, how does someone else attacking you matters?
Yeah.
Somebody can poke you with a sword, but you're like, I'm confident, I don't care enough. If somebody says you're ugly piece of shit, I'm like, I know I'm beautiful, fuck off.
You can reply that too.
This is the handle of the podcast. I know I'm beautiful, fuck off. This is the handle of the
Okay.
Good one.
Super. Yeah.
Off.